Deconverted Man here. It's always late at night when you start really thinking crisply. It seems like that, doesn't it? Okay. Maybe that's just me. So I was asked today the best question I've been asked in a very long time, in recent memory at any rate. I think that it was just a brilliant question, and I'll tell you why. Maybe you'll disagree, but that it's a good question. But hopefully, my explanation of why I thought it was a good question will enable you to understand at least my perspective, if not agree that it is a good question. So the question was, why do I use science and logic and not also use faith as a system to decide what to believe in? Because it wasn't a deductive, it wasn't a dichotomy, choose this or this. It was, well, you could use both, because I'd already been saying that, you can believe in God and do science and logic, and the two are going to be separate, but you could do it. So I said, well, I know that science and logic works. And as the conversation went on, then it's like, well, why didn't you try faith? It's like, well, I did, and it worked at the time. Aha, it did work. Well, it worked in a different way. It worked in the emotional, spiritual way. And of course, now I don't view it as spiritual, but it did work in that sense. But science and logic work in a different sense that are demonstrably demonstrable. But why use those and not use this? And that's a really good question. Because you can say, well, I know the results when I use these things. I know that the results are trustable, or that they'll get accurate results or more accurate results. Whereas I don't know what I'll get with faith. I could get anything from faith. I could believe in anything, and it's an open place, a free market of ideas. There, so it's not a way to know for sure that it's true, but you could use it, and people do. So why not? It's a really good question. Why not use it? And took me aback. I had to think really hard about that. It was a really good question. And the only answer was that I could do is because I know this works, and I don't know that I know that this produces, I know that I can see the results of this every time. But this, everyone makes claims. Everyone makes claims. And nobody seems to know. Nobody is able to show that it's true. And so there's this uncertainty there, and it's not that I reject it because of the uncertainty. It's that the whole thing is not a system. This is a system, but why are you using that system and not this other thing as well? Because you keep this, but use this as well. That's what the question is asking. Why not also do that? I said, well, I struggled, and it wasn't easy to make that decision to let the faith go, but I did, because when I saw that there was no evidence, when I saw that the arguments were bad, I didn't have an intellectual reason to maintain that. But the spiritual isn't about the intellect. It's about feeling. It's about spirit. But I wouldn't. But I wouldn't ever know that I was right. It's like, well, there's many mysteries over here. Oh yeah, there's many mysteries in science, and I don't know logic that much. I don't think there's any mysteries in logic, because logic is really kind of a subset of science, anyways. But There's mysteries that we haven't figured out, but those are mysteries, whereas the whole thing is a giant question mark. So there is a difference. But I don't reject it just because it's a question mark. I reject it because I just can't do faith for faith's sake. I just can't do it. I don't know why. I just can't make my mind do that. This person, this other person, not related to this question, a comment that I got just lately. Sometimes faith is all one needs. I have faith, and that's proof. It's very circular. They don't need proof because they believe. So they don't need evidence. They don't need an argument. They don't need anything. They just believe because it's belief. And that's what they're asking. Why can't you do that? I don't know. I can't. I just can't anymore. I had to quit. I saw that there wasn't anything to support it when I thought that there was. Now maybe if I'd been taught that faith is just faith and it's not built on anything, it's just belief without any support for it, then I would have said, okay, I can still hold on to it because sure. But then learning logic kind of ruined that anyways for me because it's not, you can't make a logical argument to do that. You can make an appeal to emotion to do it, but that's not logical. But it's a good question. Why can't you do this? I don't know why I can't do it. People do. People are able to have faith. And I read about and see people saying that they're struggling with faith. And of course, I have to put in my little jaded, comment of like, why struggle? Give up. It's easier. Just be one of us, be a skeptic. And it's like, well, that's, you're poking at them. Come on, stop it. Let me have my faith. I'm happy. It's like, yeah, but you're struggling. Let go. Stop struggling. It's like, and that struggle makes it feel like it's worthwhile to keep because if it wasn't worthwhile, you wouldn't struggle with it so hard, right? So it's kind of this interesting thing. But man, it's a really good question. I think. I know I just keep saying that. It just was astounded by it. So why do you choose this system and not use this? Why not use emotions to determine what you believe in? Why not use faith to determine what you believe in? And you can say, well, because it's not evidentiary. You could say because I don't know if it's true, but it's like, but that's the whole point of faith is you don't know it's true. You just believe it. But it's like, but I can't do that anymore. I just can't do it. And that of understanding why my brain refuses to do that, that's something I don't know the answer to. So that's why I find it an interesting question. Because on one level, I can answer it, but on a different level, I really can't answer it. So I wonder if you have an answer to this question, and if you find it as interesting as I did. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.